What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Beers and. Today, we're going to be talking about
Beers and Campari. Hey, a little Campari.
Ooh, hey,
Right?
bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom to you, too.
To you too.
What's going on? Welcome back in. Nick and Alex here, as always.
Hello.
We are having a lovely cocktail today because we've hit number
Number 50.
halfway to 100.
Half a century old.
We're older in episodes than we are in years.
Thank God. Thank God. I'm glad we made
Amen.
Glad we made it to 50 episodes because 50 years still seems a way away.
Yeah, it's probably going to happen in the blink of an eye.
Not hedging my bets. That's dark.
You're
Good way
healthy.
To start
You're fine.
Good way to start the show.
You're fine. So we're having a cocktail today. It's a Campari cocktail.
Mm-hmm.
We won't tell you what's in it just yet. It's got some wine. That's all you need to know.
Exactly.
And that's 2/3 of the ingredients. So
very much. Yeah.
you get guesses, please, on what the
Go
rest
ahead.
are.
We'll wait.
We're also having a beer as always, and we're having a Nick pick today.
Yes, we are.
This is a new brewery for us. This is Hoof Hearted.
Hoof Hearted.
Ta-da!
I picked this beer up strictly based on the can art, as I'm sure anybody can tell, but the name really seals the deal. Today we are drinking That's What Happens When You Put Ketchup on a Hot Dog.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means, but I'm happy that it's there.
And just for reference, it's a naked skier with, I can only assume, ketchup on him
Exactly.
on the front of the can.
Exactly.
So that's fun. Why are his skis all woobly?
Are they woobly?
I don't know.
I think he's mid mogul, if anything.
It's mid ketchup.
He's mid ketchup.
That's for sure. So this is a ghost style ale.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, brewed with raspberry, passion fruit, lime, coriander, and Pinot Noir salt.
I'm excited for this one.
Yeah.
Especially because I believe that the last ghost we had was quite a while ago. It was another one of my picks also.
And I think it also had coriander in it.
It did. It was the Westerbrook.
That's weird.
Yeah. Wow. And if I'm not mistaken, now that I'm thinking about it, you're not a huge fan usually of ghost style ales.
It depends. I do usually like them when they're a little saltier.
Oh, okay.
So I'm really excited for. I've never even heard of Pinot Noir salt.
Neither have I.
I guess they dehydrate, like boil off wine and throw salt in there, and that's how they.
I guess so. That sounds super sacrilege, but I don't like.
To boil off wine.
Yeah.
So when you make like a beurre blanc sauce and you just throw
I guess
wine in there with no fire.
I'm a big fan of. I think that wine is the most important part to cooking to begin with. No matter what, and it's usually for the chef.
You know what? It went in way more things than I realized.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a very experienced cook.
What you could
I know things,
You
but
could put wine in anything.
you really can.
You really can.
In a shoe if you wanted to.
If you wanted to, and I would not say no. I'd say, Monsieur, another shoe, please.
Croque madame.
Croque madame. We're also drinking, again, our cocktail every 10 episodes. Yeah. For those of you that
really
have just joined us, I've also just realized that we haven't done this in a while. So Alex and I are, Alex is a big craft beer fan.
Yeah.
I just like to drink. And we got together 50 episodes ago and said, what's a good idea to go for with this craft beer idea? And we're talking about it and going back and forth. And we figured, again, what's the best part about having a beer but sharing it with the buddy?
Having a conversation
about who cares?
Right. Because it really, once the liquor flows, anything goes.
Exactly.
And that's how we like to keep it here on Beers End.
100%. So if you want to go ahead and join on in as well, make sure you hit us up on Instagram at Beers and Podcast. It's the same over on Instagram as well.
YouTube.
And YouTube. On Twitter, we're at Beers and One. And go ahead, send us your comments, your questions, your suggestions over at beersandpodcast@gmail.com.
This smells amazing.
I'm excited for this one.
It smells like something else we've had.
Ghost style usually has such a distinct, usually like a flavor complex or flavor profile. So I'm wondering if it's that. And coriander is not an easily masked flavor. So I'm thinking maybe it's because of that. Wow, it's actually got a little bit more of a color and viscosity.
It's got way more fruit than I
thank you.
Originally anticipated. It smells pretty much just like it says, raspberry.
Ooh,
I'm getting the passion fruit,
big time.
I'm getting the lime.
Oh, this is exciting.
I'm not surprised we don't smell the salt.
Yeah, does
Although
salt have a
sometimes you
smell?
can
This salt
I
has
feel
a
like
smell,
sometimes
right?
you can. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely.
Cheers.
We didn't do question of the day.
Oh,
but I'm gonna
okay.
cheers anyway. Let's take
All
a
right.
sip. Thanks for listening. Ooh, that is wonderfully tart.
Wow.
I love that.
But the coriander cuts it
Yeah,
really,
I just got
really
it.
well.
It really rushes over at the end.
And that Pinot
that's
Noir salt
peculiar.
is in there too, which is very strange. I think that's what we're getting at the end. It's got that because again, Pinot Noir, being a fruitier,
It's got a very winey, tanny
a
kind
fruitier
of.
red wine. Whoa, that is wow.
That's really interesting.
I'm enjoying that.
I
so
can't tell
far.
if I'm getting the passion fruit or if it's masked by something.
I don't know. I think I am. I drink quite a bit of passion fruit flavored things.
Oh, okay.
So I'm fairly familiar with the flavor of it.
Man, this is surprising.
It's a very refined beer,
Yeah.
which again, the name and the can art would not allude to such sophistication and elegance.
That's why you never judge a book.
Never judge a book.
Wow.
Except sometimes you got to judge a book. No?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm processing this beer. The coriander comes in swoops in after you drink your raspberry passion fruit juice.
Yeah.
And then immediately
Immediately-
afterwards, it's Pinot Noir salt.
Exactly, immediately into the Pinot. So it cuts the tartness immediately and then moves into that nice kind of smoky, sort of like robust, stone fruity flavor
I like it.
of the Pinot Noir.
Okay, question of the day. If you were going to move somewhere else, where would it be?
Ooh, God. I'd probably go where I already own, so I wouldn't have to pay anything. I would move to Italy.
Okay.
I 100% would.
Wow.
Yeah,
Pick up and go.
I really, really would. It becomes more and more tempting with each day that goes by. To be perfectly honest
Teaching's a
with you.
translatable skill,
Yeah.
and you can speak Italian.
Yeah. Oh, and fuck the teaching part. I feel like I would just go there and do this. The cost of living just anywhere other than the U.S. is so much lesser, and that's always going to be my deciding factor.
Wow,
Although
this is bonkers.
the Canary Islands are beautiful also, and it's warm year round.
That sounds fun.
And it's warm year round too.
So is LA.
Fuck L.A. First of all,
West Coast.
I am not made for the West Coast.
No, I don't think I am. either.
No.
I'm not a big city person.
I like a good city.
I would never choose to move to a big city unless it was like DC.
Really?
DC is so clean.
Really?
Yeah, well, the places I've been. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I must have been in trashier parts of
I
town than
guess
you
so.
are. I guess I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. Yeah. No, not a fan of. I mean, I like DC, but
like DC.
what? So where are you picking up and going to?
Probably Denver.
Really?
When we went to Denver, I
Yeah.
had a lovely time, and the food's amazing. It's a tremendous craft beer scene out there, and yeah, just the fact, I don't know. Do you remember that they said they get like 300 days of sun a year?
It's so funny you say that because the second that you mentioned it, I was like, I remember
It's
what
generally
we had
nice
been
in
told
Denver.
about. Yeah, about the sunshine all the time.
I mean, I'm sure it gets cold.
Yeah, but it gets cold. I do like a change of
Me too. The weather.
weather.
At least a little bit.
Yeah, I do like that. If I could, I would. If I had to stay in the States, I do like New England just a little bit further north than
That's
where we
fair,
are.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boston's really nice as well.
Boston's nice. I did like Providence when I was in Providence a couple times.
Okay, yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. But I have to stay by water. I can't move. Don't move me to like Kansas or Nebraska.
Yeah, you're not a landlocked person.
No, not at all.
I would be okay.
No, I would feel caged. I would not get on with the people, partially because of my resistance to assimilate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I drink this, I get socked in the salivary gland. Every time it's like sour.
But then
Salt.
but then you're immediately hit with an ice pack then to take off some of that swelling and some of that some of the bruising.
It is really delicious.
It is a fascinating beer.
This is really delicious. I'm
Is it too soon to throw? Wow.
gonna be really high on it.
Yeah, so am I. I mean, off the bat, I'm going to go like a 4.65, 4.7. Like, this is a phenomenal.
Pretty much what I was thinking.
Yeah?
4.6.
Yeah. This is a really, really nice beer.
I can't get over the coriander into the Pinot Noir salt because
So
it's such a weird transition, but it's not because it is smooth.
Right. And I think what's interesting is that the salt part of it, it's not, how can I say it? Like textbook salt. It doesn't actually have that like saltiness to it
A
at
little
all.
bit.
Very slightly,
But
which
it's
is
more like
indicative of like a Ghost to begin with.
Definitely. It's more like a wine overtone, kind of.
Right. It's not terribly high in ABV. It's I believe a 7%.
Oh yeah, 7.
Flat.
That's pretty good.
I like the fact that it is meant to be
Now look at that.
drank quite cold comparatively
Colder.
speaking. Yeah, at 46 degrees, which I would say that this is roughly,
Probably pretty close.
yeah, close to.
Yeah, I noticed about halfway through that I got a more rounded flavor.
Yeah, right.
So we must have hit it.
Yeah, I think we're perfect. We're spot on.
Wow.
We're also having along with this should I finish the beer first before I take a sip of the cocktail?
No, I actually wanted to try them together.
So this little cocktail, I believe that we have entitled this interestingly enough, I think you had suggested West Coast Sunset.
West Coast Sunset.
Yep, meaning that one day I hope the sun sets on the West Coast and does not rise again.
It'll probably be gone in a couple of years.
That's true. That's true.
You know, faulty fault lines.
Faulty fault lines. This is
This looks like the West Coast Sunset.
It does. It is fresh squeezed orange juice, and we did fresh squeeze it.
Very fancy.
Very fancy. Some Campari, and it is finished with a late harvest sweet white wine like that of a Riesling. It's actually a lot of bitter Riesling.
Oh, fantastic.
I made the full pitcher, so
I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, full 10 servings. That's fantastic.
Wow.
That might be one of my new favorite things.
Wow. That is super simple and really, really nice.
Really flavorful. Lots of like fresh orange juice.
Fresh orange.
Note, and like it's weird because I think I've had Campari by itself one time.
Yeah.
And I did not like it.
It's a rough liqueur to like.
Yeah.
I like Campari.
Very popular.
Yeah, I like Campari, but that's because, again, I'm a lush.
I haven't tried it in 6 or 7 or 8 years maybe.
My cousin and I drink Negronis all the time.
I've always wanted one.
Oh my God.
With gin?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yes. And usually it's at the point now where if Negronis are going to be involved, people around us are usually very excited and then not, because they know that means, okay, Nick and Ryan are going to go ahead and tie one on. Oh, yeah, because it's one of those where it's like, you want to have a Negroni? It's usually like, sure, we're going to have at least 2.5 to 3 before we go out. And then we'll wind up getting into it. It's one of those where it's like, what time are the dinner reservations? They're at 7. Well, it's 6:30. How far is it? It's only about 10 minutes. Well, we got time for another one. Let's have another one real quick. We'll have another one. This is really nice, though.
So interestingly enough, nice segue into my little segment about what is Campari. Mm-hmm. It's kind of its own thing. It's considered an aperitif.
Right.
So there's aperitifs and there's digestifs. So this one's considered an aperitif. So it's an alcoholic beverage typically served before you go out to a meal.
Right.
It's supposed to stimulate the appetite. They are almost exclusively bitter as to not be sweet, to ruin the palate. They want to open the palate.
Oh, that's what the reason is?
That's why why it's typically dry and bitter.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. It's supposed to stimulate your palate for your meal. On the other hand, a digestif, as the name would suggest, is supposed to be served after the meal.
Right.
And it's supposed to aid in digestion. Although, shockingly enough, there's no proof to that.
For none of them?
I have not found any proof.
Really?
Yes.
I'm still going to stick with that lie. I'm going to hold on to that.
We're still going to do it because we've been doing it forever.
Exactly. I love when my dessert menu usually comes with a separate section of digestives. That's how you know you're at a fancy place, too.
100%. I was just going to say. That's how you know you're at a fancy place. So common aperitif choices. I didn't realize champagne was one of them.
Oh.
But champagne is considered, and that makes sense because...
Like a dry brut. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Vermouth.
Ooh.
gin, interestingly enough,
Oh, a good dry gin.
and also two things called a pastis or otso, which
Oh.
are anise-flavored spirits from France and Greece, respectively.
I thought that also was a digestif. That's interesting.
It is, yep, an aperitif. I confused them, not those two, but a little bit as well. And then also a fino or an amontillado, which are two types of sherry wines, one which is light in color and one medium in color. But I forget what it's called, like the darkest body of sherry is more creamy and not an aperitif for some reason.
That's what I was going to say, because I've always heard that sherry, or I've always associated sherry with almost being like a port, where it's like smaller glass, end of the evening, you know, type of drink. But I guess it clearly depends on what kind of sherry you're going for.
Yes. So these may be served with hors d'oeuvres or an amuse-bouche.
Ooh.
If you're familiar.
That reminds me of like from the last episode when we were talking about the fez, which is the real name is, you know, the tarbouche.
Yes.
So they just serve you a bunch of,
of little tiny
fezzes. I like that.
Correct.
Oh my God. Could you imagine? What a racket. We could just serve the food. Could you imagine a Mediterranean spread and they're all fed, or they're all served in fezzes?
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Can you pass the fezza hummus, please? Absolutely. There you are. Yeah. The fez is made with felt.
We've gone too far.
Yeah, I was going to say, now I'm picturing having to like pick lint off the, you know. Ugh.
Yeah, we don't want that. No.
You don't want fuzzy
clean
hummus.
Clean hummus.
Yes, clean
fuzz-free hummus. Have you ever had an amuse-bouche?
I don't know. I want to say yes.
It's like a complimentary
hors
d'oeuvre. It's usually one bite.
Yes.
And it's very fancy, or a palate cleanser.
Yes.
Like a sorbet or something like that.
Yeah. In fact, actually, like if I'm not mistaken, most of the time when you go out for aperitifs, at least I believe in most like Mediterranean countries, you don't order that necessarily. It just comes with the drink.
Correct.
I'll never forget the first time someone had like come over to the table and they put a couple things like down, and I was like, oh no, that's not us. And like, the fuck is the matter with you? Like, no. Go ahead and have that with your goblet of Aperol spritz,
So,
like, please.
That's actually one thing I really want to try.
Oh, really?
I want to try Aperol. An Aperol spritz specifically.
Perfect. We
Let's
have almost all of the right ingredients.
Love that. Let's make that happen. So before I finish up, aperitifs have a really interesting history. So propendedly, they've been around since the 5th century.
Oh, wow.
Which is way longer than I thought.
Yeah.
And it's apparent in this quote from a 5th century Christian ascetic, Diadocos of Photiki.
Ooh, I love when you quote Diadocos to me on a Sunday afternoon.
You know how whisper sweet nothings into your ear. And I quote, "People who wish to discipline the sexual organs should avoid drinking those artificial concoctions which are called aperitifs, presumably because they open a way to the stomach for the vast meal which is to follow."
Oh.
So I guess kind of like a don't be a glutton and you won't be a deviant.
Wow. No, well, what it sounds like more than anything else is like you ain't fucking on a full stomach. So like, don't go ahead and have an aperitif. You're gonna eat too much. You're both gonna get tired, and no one's gonna.
No, it's the other way.
I thought it said to avoid it, the aperitif.
Avoid the aperitif.
Yeah, because doesn't the aperitif then like make you? It stimulates.
No, because he was an ascetic. He was like, abstinence and, whatever you want to call it.
So he was.
You don't indulge yourself.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. All right. I took that the wrong way.
Yeah, it's okay. Hey.
So the opposite.
There's
so
none of those here.
Okay. So he's saying, the opposite, more meaning like don't have booze before you eat because
it'll make you have sex.
Because it'll make you have sex. Well.
And be a good Christian.
Yeah. Okay.
So in 1796, a Turin distiller invented modern vermouth. By the 19th century, aperitifs were widespread in Italy. It makes no sense to me. It's so funny. These fragrant herbal spirits were being sold in pretty much every bar. Mm-hmm. But where they really started out was in fashionable cafes in all of the hotspots in Italy. Turin, Milan, Rome, Genoa, Venice, and Florence.
Oh, okay. So yeah, everywhere up in the north.
It took the country by storm.
Yeah, Rome
much.
North. Yeah.
This almost feels to me like a conspiracy. I don't know why.
Why?
Because it just happened so quickly, and it was like all the big cities.
Yes, but don't forget, what year was it?
This was in the 19th century, so sometime between 1800 and...
So for the first half, at least, don't forget, Italy didn't unify until the 1860s. So they were all still at least like individual kingdoms. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Then I wonder if my later story is what unified them.
Ooh, maybe. Oh, I'm a little curious
It's kind of
now.
tongue-in-cheek, but
Oh, okay.
only because 1860 comes up as a prominent thing.
Oh, okay. Huh. Now I'm curious, too. All right.
Well, you gotta wait.
You're going to have to just stick around then.
Cliffhanger.
What shall I start with here?
Whatever your heart desires, hon.
You know what? I think... Thanks, babe. See, avoid these aperitifs. Beer's End is going to get real weird in a little bit.
Real.
So you know what? I guess I'll start first with...
This beer's crazy.
The beer is phenomenal. Before I get into my piece, I know that we've discussed that we've had certain beers, I think more recently than not, which are maybe we've described as this being the craft beer to introduce to your non-craft beer drinking friend. This is a beer I think that would have widespread acclaim.
I feel like anyone you give this beer to is going to love it. You're absolutely
I
right.
feel like if you have someone that is extraordinarily into craft beers, is really impressed by a well-balanced, complex flavor palette, they will appreciate this, but you could also give this to, again, your friend who might just be like, drinking White Claws on a regular basis and say like, here, drink this. You'll like it.
You'll like, yeah. It was almost like a fruited sour kind of.
It really was. It really was.
Really good.
So I'll start with the shorty.
Okay.
The Americano. So it is a drink that is made with Campari. And it was, I didn't realize this. It was first served in the 1860s.
Interesting.
Right? At the bar where Campari had first originated. So like at Campari's cafe. And it's made with Campari, sweet vermouth, club soda, and then it's garnished with a lime slice. And the name came from just that, like a majority of Americans or like certain Americans that were coming to northern Italy during that time. They were on like the Grand Tour. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't familiar with Campari at all. So like this was how it was introduced to Americans, kind of cut some of the bitterness and made it more like palatable. So a little bit of a callback in here, if anything. The Americano was actually the first drink that was ordered by James Bond in the Ian Fleming novels.
Oh.
So if you go back and check out Beers and Vodka, we wound up doing the vodka martini. I believe that was, wow, at this point, it might have been about
20 episodes ago, 30 episodes.
20 or 30 episodes ago. Wow. It was actually, again, the first drink that was ordered by James Bond in From Russia with Love, which is my favorite Bond movie of all time.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, my God, it's so good. It's so good.
So it wasn't a vodka martini.
Not the first drink, if anything, no.
Wow.
Not the first one. So in From Russia with Love, again, he drinks two on his like flight from Rome to Istanbul. And then it was a short story, but then it was expanded to be one of the Bond films, which was From a View to a Kill. Bond chooses the Americano to drink at a mere cafe, like a regular cafe, stating that, quote, in cafes, you have to order the least offensive of the musical comedy drinks that go with them. So basically, like, this is the easiest one to go ahead and get. And in it, he stipulates that he always wants the Americano to be made with Perrier, because according to him, expensive soda water is the cheapest way to improve on a poor drink.
Hey, okay.
Right? So a little tongue-in-cheek there.
I like that.
A little cheeky for James Bond. But I had no idea, and I am such a big fan usually of anything having to do with Bond, but I had no idea that it was the Americano you went with first.
I did, during my research, I did gloss over something that said that he had Campari.
Oh, really?
Somewhere.
Yeah,
I glossed over it.
no idea. In my defense, I've also never read the books. So
Okay.
maybe I'll have to get into those.
That's fine.
I guess.
You're a reader. I'm surprised.
I only really read between like April and October.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was such a seasonal hobby.
I can't read it. I can't, like, if you were to ever come over, I would almost never be on the couch reading a book. I take it out, and I've got to go down to the water. I've got to sit outside.
Oh,
and read
okay.
it. Yep.
Fair enough.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Let's get down to business.
Yes.
To drink
Let us
Campari.
let us pray.
Please.
Just joking. So Campari. That's what I wanted to know about because it's such a different spirit.
Right.
What is the proof on it? Do you know?
It's quite high.
It's high, isn't it?
Yes.
How high?
This, I want to say that it's in the four. Oh, it is 35%. Oh, no, that's not what it says. It is 24% alcohol by volume.
Okay, so that's actually not as high as I thought, but it's still pretty high.
Correct. Sorry.
If you drink a whole beer that was 24%, you'd be in a bad way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Whew.
And it's made in Milan.
Oh, I didn't realize it was actually made in Milan.
It is made in Milan.
Oh.
Do you know the name of the gentleman who created it?
I do know his name is Gaspare, I believe.
Gaspare Campari.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. So purportedly, Campari contains anywhere between 10 and 70 ingredients.
Oh, wow.
Those of which are, because it's a total secret, this recipe.
Oh.
It's been held very close to the chest of the Campari family since its inception. And only like a couple of people, so his two sons, who are the owners,
Yeah.
and maybe like the factory manager, know the recipe. And that's it.
Oh.
So it's everything in it is either an herb, a flower, or a root.
Oh, okay.
So it's all botanicals. I found an interesting recipe on Simply Recipes. It's under 20 ingredients, so I'm just gonna like riddle them off real quick. But like they're crazy. So there's bittering ingredients because it's a very bitter drink.
Yes.
We went over that. Genshin. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. It's the main source of bitterness in this recipe anyway. It's a flower used for some medicines actually that aid in like digestive or like the upset stomach area.
Yes.
Could be for a lot of things. And apparently it brings a radiating, tangy bitterness, which I don't know how I feel about.
I mean, I feel like that's a really like a nice way of saying it makes you feel tingly and maybe not always a good tingly.
I guess so.
Yeah.
So there's also wild cherry bark, another bittering agent with some fruit notes, angelica root, which introduces a bold grapefruit and pepper tone,
Okay, that I get.
and ginseng, which brings in a clean, earthy tone.
Huh.
Those are just the bittering agents. Then there's botanicals. So they have in this recipe lemon peel, orange peel, and rhubarb root, all dried. They have to be dried. It's very specific. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, originally Campari got its red color. Do you know from what?
I want to say yes, but I don't remember entirely.
Okay, so up until 2006, the red in Campari was made from the dye of the cochineal insect.
Oh, that's yes, from an insect.
From an insect. So like a tiny little insect, they would dry it out and like crush it
up.
And yeah, and then throw it in.
I like that. They're working with what they've got.
I mean, whatever. Yeah, but in 2006, they swapped it out for artificial dye.
I like how they waited till 2006 though.
Well, they started to get pushback.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm not sure from who. I didn't really get into it.
I can guarantee you not many Italians, because if there's one group of people who don't give a shit sometimes, it's like, it's the Italians.
That's true. I can attest to that.
Yes.
Because I don't.
I know, yeah. I would be like, they're bugs.
So the inventor of Campari, as Nick alluded to, Gaspare, great name. He was the 10th child of a farmer.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's right.
Gaspare Campari had quite the life, I would like to think. He was born in Castelnuovo, Lombardy.
Oh, okay.
So in northern Italy.
Yep.
In 1828. He started working at the Bass Bar in Castelnuovo, mixing drinks at the age of 14.
Oh, wow.
So just at the time of World War II, actually, he was mixing drinks. 1942.
No, wait a second. Didn't you say he was born in 18?
Nope. Oh wait, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Did I? Yeah,
Yeah.
I did.
Okay.
1828. That makes way more sense.
All right. I was going to say, my God.
1840. So 14 years old, serving drinks in a bar.
All right.
This is where he took a strong interest in people's drinking habits, And he decided that in his teenage years, he was going to peddle his own aperitif around Italy.
All right.
So this took place in the 40s.
Yeah.
So he couldn't have been any older than 19.
Wow.
Because
you wonder sometimes, like, two things. One of which is like 14 for working. Almost, I'm sure is, and I'm sure that he was beforehand, but like it's old for this time period. But then you also wonder, like, do you think that due to the fact that like mortality rates or I'm sorry, that like longevity rates were so much shorter that people maybe like this, that were a little bit more entrepreneurial, like realizing if I don't take this shot now, like I'm gonna be dead at 35. So like, you know, because of, I don't know, a strong wind, you know.
Yeah, but at 14 though, wow.
Yeah, that is true.
Or, you know, let's say at 18,
yeah,
17.
18. God, yeah.
You know, whatever.
I was a piece of shit at 18. Don't laugh too hard. You were with
said
me.
anything
I was gonna well, okay. Wow.
Hey,
wow! Not only did you
hot.
throw me under the bus, you then hopped in the driver's seat and then just dragged me along. Sir, there's something in the wheel well. Yeah, I know. I put it there.
It's just my friend. He's fine.
Quit ringing the bell.
He's flexible. So while he was, peddling his own aperitif, which still blows my mind, it was common for essentially like every bar to have a house aperitif that the local bartender would make.
Oh.
So it was probably just, and I didn't find this, but I can only assume, it's probably just some sort of like fortified wine with a bunch of botanicals thrown in to kind of like imbibe it with its own flavor.
Yeah.
You know, each one's a little different. But it wouldn't be until 1860
Oh, there we
that
go.
Campari eventually compiled the recipe for his flagship, Campari.
Well, everything is all coming together now.
Is that the unity of Italy? Is it just Campari?
I mean, pretty much. It must be. It must be.
It's
We're
the
going to
same
go
time.
with it. It all happened at the same time. It was done by another man with a G name, but not Gaspare. Garibaldi.
Garibaldi. I was like, I know that.
Yeah.
So he made Campari, and what he did afterwards was he went around from bar to bar, asking them to sell his drink.
Really?
And they said he said his one stipulation was if you sell it, you put a Campari sign in your window.
Wow.
And that is how he birthed this. What now? I'm gonna blow your mind if you don't already know this stuff. How huge this business has become. I'm only foreshadowing.
Okay. For reference, if anything, because I think, just one of the things that's jumping out to me. So you and I know what you're talking about when you say a bar. Mm-hmm. So a bar in Italy, for those folks that might not be entirely familiar, it's not the same as like a bar here in the States. Like we would go to the bar to have coffee, have a drink, have something to eat. That's where you would meet, everybody in the
like
neighborhood.
A diner.
I think
like
that's
a diner.
Exactly. Little outdoor area was like usually right in the heart of your piazza, your downtown. And they're all over the place. I mean, there's a bar on every other corner too.
So it was fantastic that he would do that. So like I said, he held his recipe very close to him. No one ever knew. He eventually blew up. He went on to open his own bar. Then another bar in the heart of Milan. This is where he started to like really branch out. He started to make his own cordials, his own liqueurs, his own cocktails, and people would come and see this. Eventually in 1904, they opened Sesto di Giovanni. Mm-hmm. It's the company's first major production site. So they were able to mass produce Campari. Afterwards, his sons would take on this business after he passed.
Okay.
2 sons. I didn't write down their names. It's okay. It's not important. They devoted their lives. It's really important.
I guess so. Yeah.
They devoted their lives to building this brand and like turning it into what it is today.
Yeah.
So crazy enough, they would change the name to, it's publicly traded as the Campari Group. So it's his 2 sons, 2 actual like separate, I don't want to say like subdivisions of the company, but they were 2 different names, even though they're publicly traded together.
Oh, okay. Almost like a CBS and Viacom.
Exactly.
Or an Aldi and Lidl.
Thank you.
Two brothers that just like split off.
Exactly.
Right. But these guys are still together.
They are still together.
Okay.
So, like I said, they devoted their lives. By 1960, 100 years after the drink was made originally, sales would grow particularly strong, and Campari would be distributed in over 80 countries.
Wow.
Another 30 years, and they would more than double that and be in over 190 countries. So they're worldwide at this point.
Holy shit.
The article goes on to say that in 1999, when there was a really, really big consolidation of the global drink market, but there weren't many like big players,
right?
So they had to decide whether they were going to stick with their guns and just make their flagship, or if they were going to start to acquire other pieces and like really be distributors.
Yeah.
So they did.
Okay.
And here are just a few of the 50 some odd brands that are under the Campari blanket umbrella, let's say.
Can I guess at least two?
Definitely.
So I do feel like, and this might just be because I read, I do think that I believe Aperol is one of theirs, right?
So in 2003, they bought Aperol.
Okay.
I believe it was for $143 million.
That actually seems like chunk change.
It doesn't seem that expensive.
Well,
right?
just considering I know that they're actually like the same thing, like the marketing for Aperol is like crazy.
So they weren't actually the second, the second best bidder.
They were not?
In Italy. No, there's another one that they bought later.
How about, I'm going to just guess another group.
Sure.
Martini and Rossi?
No, actually.
Oh,
unless that's under under that umbrella, but by a different name. I didn't see it in the Wikipedia article. But good guesses though.
All right.
So in 1998, they acquired a minority holding in Sky Spirits LLC. So Sky
shit.
Vodka and
wow.
Actually in that deal, Sky got the rights to distribute all of Campari's brand in the United States, and Campari became a minority holder in Sky.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a lot of interesting deals happen. You'll see.
I can't wait to go ahead and look this up and see if I can, what stock is at right now.
Right.
I'm a little curious. Yeah.
Me too. We'll check before we go.
All right.
So in '99, they actually did buy out Otso 12, which was that Greek anise spirit that I was talking about. In 2003, they bought Aperol. In 2007, they acquired Cabo Wabo Tequila, founded by...
Oh, my God. Sammy Hagar.
Sammy Hagar,
Fuck
old
Sammy
lead
Hagar.
singer of Van Halen. Good friend of the show.
Good friend. Yeah, friend of the pod.
In 2009, they bought out Wild Turkey and Wild Turkey Honey. The distillery in Lawrenceville was included in the deal.
Oh, really?
In fact, in 2010, Frangelico. In 2012, Appleton State.
Okay.
Rum.
Yeah.
Right? In 2014, Averna, which was Italy's second best-selling bitter. I'm sorry, that was for $143 million.
Oh, okay. Good.
Also in 2014, they bought 40 Creek Distillery, which is a Canadian whiskey company.
Wow.
Including all of its facilities and stock for $185.6 million.
Holy shit.
Then in 2016, their biggest acquisition to date, Grand Marnier.
Oh.
And then the following year, Bulldog London Gin.
No way.
And then the year after that, their last acquisition as of yet, they bought a French brand Biscuit Cognac.
Oh, wow.
So 50 brands under the umbrella of Campari.
Holy shit.
And they've really grown this company. So let's see, actually.
Yeah, I'm a little curious to see what this is now going to become a financial podcast.
I'm into it. So actually, it's funny you say that because in the Wikipedia article, and I happen to have it right here.
God, this goes
It's
down
so good.
very nice.
Yeah, it's so good. They do actually talk about the IPO. So it was publicly traded in 2001, July of 2001. And it says that the shares were priced at the lower end of the indicative price range of 30 to 38.
Okay.
So it started trading at 30 to 38.
It's not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah, I was gonna say, let's see what they're coming up at now.
Oh, I feel like that's too low.
No, that can't be right. No, that's not correct.
What?
That can't be correct.
Is that right? I mean, all right, so maybe alcohol stocks aren't that high.
Maybe that's not correct.
Let's try something else.
Because there are two different groups, I believe, that they are.
That's them.
It is.
Yeah, that was them. Let's just check Anheuser-Busch stock. That makes sense. That's way higher.
Yeah, I can't imagine
Who
unless
else would you have?
Campari maybe split over time.
That's very possible.
Yeah, they could have, or like
I feel
even.
like they definitely did.
Yeah.
With all that consolidating,
Absolutely.
and acquisiting.
Acquisiting.
That's right.
I think so. So, have you ever heard of Campari Soda? Not Campari
Yes.
and soda, but Campari Soda.
Yes.
Oh, you have?
Only because of my research.
Beautiful. So, are you familiar with what it is exactly?
No.
Okay. Here we are, folks. Look at us. Let me tell you, these episodes really start to go ahead and just fly by after a while.
Good stuff.
Campari Soda, it is a pre-mixed drink made of Campari and then club soda. Seems like it's only sold exclusively in Italy.
Cocktail in a can.
Exactly. And it is at a relative, decent ABV. It's still sold at 10%. All right. It's 10% alcohol. What it's really known for, however, is its distinct bottle design, which was done by a guy by the name of Fortunato Depero in 1932. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, see, so that's sort of
weird.
Yeah. And I'll have well, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the photo. Maybe I'll point. Maybe it's over here. We'll say it's over here.
Somewhere here.
Somewhere here. Somewhere in this middle void where Hector should be. He's still in traction.
He's okay.
You can see, though, I have started to rebuild him.
We have the technology.
We have the technology. So it's actually... Yeah.
This is actually a phony Negroni.
Oh, so it's not that one here. I'll show you. I've got a photo up on my end. Whoop, as my microphone gets taken out of the way. That's good for fidelity, isn't it?
Is it bitter red?
It's this guy. See that guy?
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so it's a really distinct... What am I doing, Nick?
It almost looks like a shorty.
Exactly. So it's, again, it's a really distinct design and made by this guy, Depero. So he was, so I was a little curious about him. Anytime someone's name is hyperlinked, at least on Wikipedia, I always get at least a little
Me too.
curious. So he was a futurist, painter, sculptor, and graphic designer. And he was really big into the futurist art movement.
I think I did a little bit of this.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of the reading only because I remember he was a futurist.
Which is an awesome, field, or I guess genre, if you will, of art.
Theme.
Yeah. So I dove in just a little bit on him. So in 1915, along with another futurist by the name of Giacomo Balla, they had wrote something that's called Ricostruzione Futurista del Universo, which means
futuristic reconstruction of the universe.
Exactly. Future reconstruction of the universe. 100%. So the goal of this, there you go.
High school Italian.
Woo! The goal of this was allegedly to make the universe, quote unquote, more joyful through integral recreation. So he also became really kind of famous because of the fact is that I shouldn't say really famous, but he started to make inroads because he released what became known as the Bolted Book. And it was a completely new way of marketing his work for a period of time, which most artists didn't show off their portfolios this way. So it was for a really specific time frame. It was 1916 to 1927. And yeah, but it was known because of the fact that the bookbinding were 2 bolts instead of
quite
literally 2 bolts.
Okay.
So in 1928, he actually wound up coming to the U.S. and he had mixed success more than anything. Though he gained some notoriety, he wound up doing covers for the New Yorker, Vogue. He did designs for Macy's. He wound up doing the interior design of 2 restaurants that were then later demolished to make room for Rockefeller Center. And he had built a house that apparently still, I believe, is around 23rd Street.
Oh, in Manhattan?
In Manhattan, yeah. I finally found, and I haven't been able to read through it all the way. I was telling you last night again that roughly around the 10:30 mark, my eyes started to blur and I couldn't read anymore.
Yeah.
But someone did a really, really robust, let me see if I can get their name so I don't sound like a total schmuck. I believe it actually was from ItalianModernArt.org. And I'll find the name of the actual
did a little thing about
author.
What about the house?
just about like his love for New York. He was fascinated by New York City, but he wound up going back to Italy in 1930, and that's because the fact is that like the government at the time, the Italian government, really wouldn't sponsor him at all, because futuristic art became like really closely entwined with fascism. And like, so like when he was, but don't forget 1930, still early on.
Yeah.
So what wound up
happening? Weird though.
Oh yeah. But so what wound up happening was that like as fascism went on, they had started to use art as a form of like propaganda to get to, folks outside of Italy. But at the time that he was there, like in New York, they didn't. So like they didn't give a shit that he was there at all. They were like, no, everybody in America likes us. Like it's fine. Like we're well liked.
Oh.
Mussolini's well liked, so we're not giving you money for anything.
Mussolini's well liked.
They did, Il Duce. My grandfather, I remember, had very kind things to say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's all right. It's cool. He made the trains run on time or whatever.
Okay. Cool.
That was like a thing.
That's great.
There was also, then he went to Italy and then he died. Although he has an art museum that's like a permanent collection in Turin, I believe.
Oh.
But if anything, real quick, there was also a song called Campari Soda. It was by a Swiss band named Taxi. It was initially released in 1977. It was written by someone, I guess, part of the band named Dominique Grandjean, who's now a psychiatrist.
If that says anything about this song.
Which I said, interesting reverse, of course. The song was unsuccessful when it was first released, but then gained popularity again when it was used in an advertisement for Swiss International Airlines in 2006.
Oh, yeah.
And wound up peaking at number 3 and then spent 35 weeks on the Swiss single charts.
So I already brought it up in a tab so I can watch
it.
So I can watch it when I get home?
Oh, please do. Absolutely.
I can't wait.
Yeah, if anything, maybe I'll play a little at one point over as well. So if you want to, I think you could throw it on if you want. But it's a bizarre song.
I'm not going to.
Okay.
I'm going to listen to it on my way home.
It was an odd song, but as I was listening to it, I was like, oh, I could totally see this being like, bing, welcome aboard Swiss International Airlines. They're going to get you to your... I don't know why. I made them German. They're German now. It's written in Swiss German, so...
Oh, is it actually?
Yes, it is.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, Swiss German, though.
Speaking of fantastic...
German. Yeah, right?
These are very good.
Suckers go down easy.
I suggest anyone who hasn't tried Campari and orange juice, just go...
And the Riesling.
Yeah, I feel like you could probably just do Campari and orange juice, but I don't know.
3 3/4 cups, and in this case, it was 3 1/4 cups of Riesling. 1 cup of Campari and 2 1/2 cups of orange juice. It's got to be fresh squeezed. I like the just jingle jangle.
Yeah, I like
around, right?
I'm a big fan of the ice. Man,
serve in a tall glass with ice.
I feel like this should be my wedding drink.
Dude, it's a good drink. It's unique. It's unique.
It's so good.
It is.
I would feel so bad for all those attendants to have to like fresh squeeze all that orange juice.
No, I've got the Breville, baby. You just throw that shit.
You're just
right
gonna
bring
it to the wedding.
Don't you tempt me. Don't you tempt me. I'll bring a vat if
I will drink
have to.
these all.
They're delicious.
All night.
They're super sweet though. So at the same time, the second I saw that it called for Riesling, I was like, oh my God. Like I get on my mother's case for drinking shit wine all the time. And like, usually she's like, ooh, I like a good sweet Riesling. I'm like, Mom, will you drink like a real wine, please?
I don't know if I've ever actually had a Riesling.
It's a dessert wine.
It is.
Yeah. It's a sweet wine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then maybe I have. Actually thoroughly enjoy dessert wine.
A dessert wine.
A good dessert wine.
It is right here, dessert wine. You got anything else for?
I do not, sir.
Then shall I?
I Campari grouped myself.
You Campari grouped
to death. Actually, I was telling Nick before we got on. I spent an inordinate amount of time reading about the Campari group.
Oh, there was a lot.
Yeah,
there was a lot. So we heard though about Gaspare. Did you read up on Giuseppe?
I have not. Is that his brother?
It's not. No relation.
Damn.
Giuseppe Campari. He was an Italian opera singer and Grand Prix racing driver.
Oof. Okay.
More the latter than the former.
Okay.
More a racing car driver. So I found this guy, like I said, just, hyperlinks.
He was an opera singing race car driver.
Yeah, he was more of just a race car driver that had like a good baritone voice than anything else. Like he managed to...
Those are rare, by the way.
Very rare. Yeah. Mario Andretti, suck on that. Friend of the pod also.
Also, big friend.
Yeah.
Huge friend
Mario
of the pod.
Andretti and Sammy Hagar are somewhere drinking Cabo Wabo, listening to this. So Giuseppe was, he had began working for Alfa Romeo as a teenager. And this was in the, again, around turn of the century, early to mid 1900s. And while he was working there, he had test drove like the factory cars. And that's where he got into like hill climbing and like some of those, sort of like competitions in portions of northern Italy. However, when
really?
Oh yeah, it's a bit like almost
It's a
like
big
how
thing in Italy.
in quite a few places in like Europe.
Oh.
Yeah. Like when you think about like the Swiss Alps and the Italian Alps and all that.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. However, when he started, it was just at the start of like World War One, so everything kind of like went on hold. After the war, however, he did go and start racing again. And in 1920, he won his first major race, as well as the first major win for Alfa Romeo, winning what's called the Mugello circuit in Tuscany. The next year, he then won the top spot at the French Grand Prix in 1925.
Okay.
In 1929, he went to go to Dublin, and he went to go like compete in the first Irish International Grand Prix. This is one of those things that like we here in the States, I don't think know a lot about Grand Prix racing
Absolutely
or
not.
like Formula racing in general. We've got NASCAR. That's what we got. Go around. So this has a couple extra turns. It's a big deal. So when he was there for the Irish International Grand Prix, he was hit in the eye with like a small rock had like popped up and like got him right in the old occhio, and luckily he was able to like finish the race. He wound up finishing fourth somehow still.
Wow.
And they were able to like
Good
take
for
care
him.
of his like eye and whatnot. In 1931, he and his teammate, a guy by the name of Tazio Nuvolari, they had won the first combined Italian Grand Prix, which had made them like national heroes because French drivers had won for the past 3 years.
Oh.
So like everybody knew who they were. He then won the Grand Prix, the French Grand Prix, a second time in 1933, making him one of only 21 drivers to win multiple times. It was the first win for Maserati, because at this point he was driving for Maserati. And he was the last Italian to have multiple wins as well in the French Grand Prix.
Wow.
That same year, so 1933, while he was competing at the Monza Grand Prix, which is in Italy, he had driven the circuit a number of times. He was killed, unfortunately, instantly. When his car had crashed, he skid in a sharp turn on a patch of like leaked engine oil.
Oh, geez.
And had died. You want to take a guess as to how old Giuseppe may have been?
37.
Ooh, I thought you were going to get it. You're close. 41. And he was set to retire at the end of the season.
Wow.
Yep. Just realized that was a downer to end on. I forgot that we didn't go back and forth in the right way.
I'm gonna end with my last sip.
This has been
this
a
fantastic
delicious. And thank you to Mama and Papa Fox. They bought me these glasses for my birthday.
I like these.
Right? These are nice.
They're very nice.
Got a set of 4.
I'm really interested. There's recipes on the back of here. The Zodiac.
Oh, the white rum, triple sec, banana liqueur, lemon juice, orange juice, and pineapple juice.
With a dash of grenadine, mix in blender with shaved ice.
I don't mind that. I kind of like the Bon Voyage as well.
What is Galliano?
Galliano is another, I believe, like liqueur, almost like I believe it's like a Frangelico. No?
I have no idea.
What is Galliano? Or is it like a Saint Germain?
It's a sweet herbal liqueur.
Yeah, almost
It's like
an
chartreuse.
Yeah.
Almost. What's
Is that owned by the Campari Group as well?
No, it's not, but it's made in Tuscany.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Then we just got to go find apricot brandy somewhere.
I'm into it.
I am too. If anybody comes across someone's great grandmother's liquor cabinet where they've got apricot brandy on hand, let us know.
It's probably right next to the root beer schnapps.
Ooh. Oh, God almighty.
And on that note,
we've done 50 so far.
50 episodes. It's a big 5-0. You know how many emails we got? Sad brain.
Why? Why would you do that?
They must not love us.
On our 50th?
On our 50th birthday.
50th.
Is it our 50th birthday? Or 50th
It's
anniversary?
sure, we'll go with that. Yeah, it's our 50th
Which one?
episode. I would say anniversary.
Anniversary or birthday?
I would go anniversary. Yeah, I don't want to call it birthday. Because birthday would be
How
like...
dare you on our 50th
you
anniversary?
sons of bitches.
Scallywags.
Oh, you went for a nice term. I was insulting them and their mother.
Well, I was going to wish scurvy upon them.
Oh, scurvy upon you.
Scurvy upon you.
Well, and with that, we do hope that you join us for the next episode.
Yeah, and please don't get scurvy. That'd be terrible.
Come back for 51. Come back for all episodes.
You don't even know what's coming next.
You have no idea.
Our best 50 yet.
The best is yet to come. So, babe, let's fly.
Is that the song?
I think so.
I thought it was...
I that's the way that I've always done it.
Okay, before we get a party foul, goodbye.
Goodbye. Is it not that the way it goes? The best is...
And babe, won't it be fine?
And babe, won't it be fun?
Is that what you said?
No, I said, and babe, let's fly.
Babe, let's fly.
Okay. You didn't tune
Cocktail
in.
episodes.
Didn't tune in for the musical parroting.